going to be talking about all things. Don't leave, Supreme. Oh, you can hear the background audio. You heard it? Okay, good. I turned it off because we're about to have a real discussion. We're going to be talking about marriage. We're going to be talking about relationships. And there's one, the reason, what started me on this quest was early last week, I saw a meme and it really raised my eyebrows. Hi, spouse wife. Welcome to the live. It raised my eyebrows because I never heard of married women being considered pick-me's. When I think of pick-me's, I always thought of women that are male-centered and spend most of their time making sure that their appearance is for the male gaze and stuff like that. That's what I thought a pick-me was. I thought it was someone that would do anything for male attention. And when I saw this particular meme, I'm going to share it with you guys. When I saw this particular meme, it made me want to talk more about marriage. It made me want to talk more about what the perception of marriage is in 2025. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to have a nice discussion, and I'm going to be welcoming, supposed to be two people, but I don't know where Sab and Tony went. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start this conversation with my girl, Danielle. Let's see, make sure we can hear you, Danielle. Unmute your mic. You have to unmute, I think.
Yes.
Perfect.
Good evening. Good evening.
Welcome, Danielle. Thank you so much for agreeing to join with not that much time.
No worries. I was anticipating this discussion.
Oh yeah, because I did speak to you.
You have been talking about it. Yeah.
Here they go. Hello, guys. Wait, I hear
Sorry about that. We're having some technical difficulties.
Wait, say something else. It was like it's like feedback a little bit.
We're having some technical difficulties, but I think we should be okay now.
Are you on your phone?
Yes, we are on the phone.
Can you guys hear that feedback, or is it just me?
No, I can hear it too.
You can hear it?
Yeah. What do you have your YouTube open as well?
Yeah, but it's muted.
I'm gonna drop you down and then you come back up. Okay, we'll get it together.
All right.
It's okay. It's a live show, then I'm sure that the audience understands, right? You guys understand. It'll be fine. We'll be fine. Just give us a second. I'm going to take them out of the. But will they be able to? I'm going to take them out and have them rejoin and see if that works. But yes, while we're waiting for that, let me say hello to the people that are coming in. We have Lafita. I think that's how you say it. Look, spouse wife. Okay, traditional wives. Traditional submissive wife. And she's a housewife. Hello, somebody. I would hope wives are not pick-me's. I didn't think they were either. But that really made me think. What did you think when you saw that meme?
I think I agree with you, Coach. Like I was saying in the chat, I had always thought a pick-me was someone who kind of did everything in service to men, right? And so they would be chosen because they're, don't have a high self-esteem or for whatever reason. They want the soft life, so they want a man to take care of them. So when I saw that, I was like, is this what they think wife is? Like, this is what, because I'm like, I like umbrellas. I like umbrellas. I like to be dry. And then the clothing itself was a stark contrast because, again, wives, especially those who adhere to the ideal of submission, right? And I said that way intentionally, they're more modest, they're more, covered. And I was like, that's considered pejorative or bad to some modern women. And I just I was shocked, and it was very jarring to, see that imagery.
Same. So we have Sav and Tony back. I'm going to unmute you guys, and I'm gonna. Did you guys see the meme I'm talking about?
No, we didn't.
Oh, so please hold. Here it is. Can you guys see that? Their faces are the same.
Not the cackle.
What do you think about that?
I mean, for us, I don't think we can relate to that.
Right.
But I mean, one of it says husband, the other one says pick me. So that is in relation to what though? Because I think it's another female on the other end.
So yes, I'm gonna just put it back up. So on this side, you see this woman here. She's covered. It's first of all, it's raining, which is very symbolic of what's going on in the world right now. We getting rained on. Okay. And the husband over here, she's covered by the protection of her husband. Amen. And over here, we have a young lady who is dressed a little differently in the rain, which is interesting.
Scantily clad.
And saying, "You're a pick-me," pointing at the woman here who's covered up by her husband and covered up by her clothing. Amen.
Okay.
On a Sunday. On a Sunday.
So it just kind of speaks to what's happening in social media. You know what I'm going to do, guys? Whenever we start speaking, I'm going to mute you, but then I'll unmute you, okay?
Okay.
It just speaks to what's happening. And this is kind of what I wanted to talk about in our live today. I wanted to talk about how the perception of marriage has changed, what you guys think about that. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about communication styles, what's an important form of communication, and what this looks like for the future of society with the way that the perception of marriage is changing. So let's start with the first question. Let's start with a fun, well, it's not really fun, because this is probably the hardest part of relationships in general, is communication, right? Everyone says how important communication is, but what does communication really look like? So the first question I have, it kind of ties in both things that we're talking about. What ways do you think technology has changed how couples communicate? So I'm going to unmute you guys and I'm going to be quiet.
So, technology. So for me, one of my pet peeves sometimes in the broad spectrum of technology is the whole texting thing. A lot of people kind of gravitate more towards texting rather than actually making a call and having that conversation. And for me, especially if it's a really important situation or conversation, I don't think texting is the way to go. I personally prefer to make a call and have that conversation if it needs to be had, because there can be a lot of stuff that is misconstrued using texting. So that's one way in which, you know, nowadays, well, maybe not for us, but that's one of the things that that's kind of taking over in terms of technology.
I second you to that because I've experienced it before. A lot of details are left out of what is trying to be, you know, shared. So for me, it's kind of a negative, if you understand what I'm saying. So yeah, that's my view on it also.
Yeah, and sometimes
Danielle, you can add in after they're finished.
Yeah, so sometimes too, that may cause a lot of misunderstanding, and that's where sometimes a lot of the problem may come in. And of course, it goes into maybe the tone of what is said that may cause the misunderstanding. and things of that nature. Maybe somebody's not responding as quickly as the other person might need them to, and things of that nature. So I think from that aspect, that kind of impacts it negatively a little bit. But also, especially if you are at a distance, or for some people who are in a long distance relationship, then there's the other side to it where maybe an app like WhatsApp may work perfectly for them, because you want to see that person, and it's almost as if you're actually calling, because then there's the voice and then you can actually see as well. So that from that side of it, that would be good. So it has its pros and its cons.
Yeah, I would agree that there are pros and cons. I think that maybe is it me that's causing the feedback? Oh, okay. I was gonna say that you have to look. People always cite communication, and I think communication is really important. I think the difficulty is we as a global society have difficulty attaching to people. And so even times when people are in relationships and communicating, they're not really saying what they mean and mean what they say. And I think that's compounded and impacted by technology. It also doesn't help, again, making it more global, that you have these communities that is going to agree with whatever you say. So if there is a somebody who's for marriage in the traditional sense, there's going to be somebody who's anti-marriage. And so I think because technology has allowed people to gather together that would not have been able to do so 30, 40 years ago, you have this magnification. So I think it, again, agreeing with that sentiment and then broadening it, a lot of times we're talking, we're just not saying the right things to each other, and we will find somebody who will amen our point, whether it is profitable to us or not. So going back to the meme, there is a whole slew of young women who are like, yeah, and crack that tick. Like, they are agreeing with this, and you're like, this is foolish. I like umbrellas, okay? I mean, I'm not sure how that became. How did we get so far away from the original foundations of what these words, terms, why is submission a cuss word? Like, why is that? So I think going back to the original question, I think communication and really having these conversations, not only between each other, but with other generations, to explain, like, no, marriage is not this imagery, or at least it doesn't have to be.
I totally agree. I think, but when it comes to technology, so like you were saying, Sab, like texting, we noticed that even in YouTube chats, like you can type something and you can mean it in one way, depending on your tone. It can be people, but your tone doesn't come across in a text. So you can type something and you could be laughing when you're typing it, but it can come across as like you're the meanest person in the world, right? Or very straightforward or whatever. Same thing if you and your spouse are having like a miscommunication, or you're having a disagreement about something. If you're texting it back and forth, first of all, you're reading it. So if you're already hyped about a situation and you're reading someone's text, you're probably not even reading it correctly. You're missing words, you're missing things, and then you're so quick to respond, you text back. And I don't know what it is about texting or like communicating in that way, but sometimes you don't think before you hit send. And then you wish later on, because now that thing lives in infamy. And that's the other piece too, right? What you say in those text messages, they can go back. Like one day they could just be scrolling their phone and see something you said 2 months ago and get mad all over again, right? So texting is, I think that's one of the main problems. Like a lot of people don't pick up the phone anymore. Like they're not picking up the phone and having those conversations. Everything is like a quick text. So yeah, good conversation, guys. You guys are doing absolutely perfect. So the next question that kind of goes in line with communication is, what strategies do you use to ensure that you're actively listening? Because sometimes we listen to respond and we don't listen to hear. We're not hearing each other. I'll let Sab and Tony go first, and then Danielle, and I'm gonna shut up.
Well, just like you said.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. I'm sorry. One thing. I'm so rude, first of all. I never introduced you guys. Hello. I know who you are, but not everyone that is in the chat or that will watch the replay know who you are, right? So I want to make sure that everybody is fully aware of who is who's on the panel. So first we have Sab and Tony in the live. They also have a YouTube channel, guys. They have very wholesome, very wonderful content. I love watching their content. And also, I love the fact that they're a married couple and they have their channel together. That shows like a unity that is like no other. And I just think that they're an adorable couple. Look at them. They're so cute. They're so nice. Look at them. Like, I love them together. Like, God bless your union. And guys, if you're not connected to them, please connect to Sab and Tony here on YouTube. And it's SAB and Tony, Tony. And next, Tony, we have Just Danielle, who is also a content creator here on YouTube. Her channel is called that, Just Danielle. She's a licensed therapist. She's also a very married woman, honey. And I love the way that she blends religion and common sense in her content. And that's pretty much a summation of what she does. Like, she's going to take religion, she's going to take her therapeutic background, and she's going to blend it together and help you navigate your life. So please, if you're not subscribed to her channel, if you're not connected with Just Danielle, please subscribe. So do you want me to read the question again, Sab and Tony? I'll read it again and then I'll let you guys go. So the question is, what strategies do you use to ensure you're actively listening to your partner?
So for me, I like to ask questions to ensure that I'm understanding what it is you're saying. Are you guys still getting a feedback? Yeah, so for example, if Tony's saying something, I'd say to him, what does that mean? Or, you know, I'll kind of repeat it just to make sure I'm understanding, or I'll just ask a series of questions to ensure that I'm understanding and that we come to some kind of conclusion. So that's basically for me.
Pretty much the same. Because, you know, we have to be as transparent as we possibly can. We don't want to take things the wrong way. We want to avoid all argument. That's not good. So we choose to be transparent, ask the necessary questions, just to be sure.
Okay, so I think it's my turn now. I'm over here trying to be in the chat bits, as Anthony would say. So one of the things that I actively do, because I don't know about you, but I create narratives in my head about what people are saying. And I think that's partially because of how I'm wired. I see the thing underneath the thing. The flip side is that you always think that somebody has an ulterior motive, right? So what the guy gives you for good, the enemy flips it on his head, and you're like, now you suspicious all the time. So what I do oftentimes is I'll say, this is what I hear you saying. Is that what you meant? Or do I understand you correctly? Because my husband can say something like, hey, you look nice today. And my brain transforms it to, you didn't look nice yesterday. That's not what that man said. So I have to say, oh, babe, thank you. I appreciate that. Did you not like my outfit yesterday? Oh, of course I liked your outfit. I just didn't tell you. Or I really like your hair this way. So, for whatever reason. So I think that that reflection and not allowing the thought to fester in my head and just asking, is that what you said? Is that what you meant? Because our experiences can be different. And sometimes he being snarky. He absolutely did mean that. But then we get to have the conversation as opposed to me making assumptions and operating off of that false narrative.
Woo, I picked the right people, boy. You guys are great. I'm just here like, But I just wanted to take this time to just thank you guys so much for doing this, especially in such short notice. I'm a busy lady. That's no excuse. I should have gave you guys a little bit more time to prepare, but you know, if you're living in the marriage, you know what you're doing, right? But I want to just publicly thank you guys for doing this. This is it's really great to talk about this kind of stuff. We need this more. I feel like there's just this negative casting that's happening. And I always think about the future. I think about like, we're not going to be as young and supple as we are right now forever, right? We're going to get older. And then what legacy are we leaving behind? Like, what did we do while we were here with the knowledge we have to at least drop some nuggets on somebody? And I'm hoping that younger people watch this and start to think about becoming married again and creating like a family unit, because we have many, many broken families. And that kind of, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart to see that. And not to say that you're a failure, you know, if you end up in a situation like that. But if we could get back to creating family units, that would be dope. So I want people to see what marriage looks like. You know what I'm saying? And what the reality of it is. So thank you very much, guys, for being open and being willing to do this. So speaking of environments, so you guys kind of touched on this already about having open and honest communication. We kind of touched on that. But how important, I just want to like sum this section up. How important is open and honest communication in your day-to-day? Oops. I'll start again with Sab and Tony, and then we'll move on to Danielle, okay?
Repeat that for me again.
I said, what did I say? I said, oh, how important is open and honest communication in your day-to-day?
You want to go first?
Sure. So I believe it's very important. And one of the things I go by and that I don't like, if you're communicating, don't leave things out, you know, be transparent, be honest, because if you start to leave things out, then we're probably going to take that as you hiding something, right? So when it actually surfaces, then that's going to cause a problem, because now I don't want to put a label on it or put a label on us women, but how our minds work is that, you know, if you omit something and we later find that out, then we're going to start having all these thoughts and it's going to spiral, and then it's going to go into a whole big issue when it didn't really need to be if you had been honest from the get-go. So I feel like from the instance, that small space of being uncomfortable might be better than that broad spectrum where it blows up to something that it didn't need to be.
True.
So that's my take on that.
That's why I'm going back to what I said earlier, that we ought to be transparent. Just put all the details in at first so we have no problem.
Yeah, I would concur with that. I think communication is vital. And not only saying the right things, because again, that lie of omission, the Bible says the small foxes spoil the vine. I'm sorry, I gotta be me. I'm gonna be churchy. It is what it is. But it's the small things. It's those little intricacies. It's those little nuances. It's the stuff that you don't say that oftentimes people gravitate, like they grab that thing. And unfortunately, I agree with you. Women, sometimes we have a running list, and I'm not gonna say all women because that's not fair, but most of us, we have a tally sheet in our head, and it, oh God, and we will take the entire thing. If you do one misstep, all of it's coming down. So what you're doing when you're having those open communication is you're checking things off that tally sheet. You're erasing it. You're having a conversation about it. You're processing it. And then you're able to move on. I'm not saying men don't do that. They just do different things. We got that tally sheet. So I think in order for the content not to build up and then it be this huge explosion over something that was seemingly minute and small, have those conversations in the moment. Because as you said, having the small discomfort of the conversation is so much better than you thinking everything is fine and somebody walking in with divorce papers because of all that undiscussed, undisclosed, unprocessed information that it could have been a simple conversation 5 years ago. Now, our marriage is on the brink of collapse because we didn't talk about it.
Yeah, God, what else can I say? You got, you covered everything. You covered it. You covered it. So for me, I'll just, talk about my own situation. My husband and I, we're very honest with each other when it comes to communicative style. If I got on his nerves, he's going to tell me. If he gets on my nerves, I'm going to tell him. Day to day, we keep each other updated on what's happening throughout the day. It's not, some people would look at it as like keeping tabs on each other, which I find ridiculous. It's not keeping tabs on each other. You have to think about it like this. Everyone has to work, right? So you're spending a lot of time outside of the house. You're over there, I'm over there. So if you're not communicating throughout the day, I feel that causes like this over time, not right away, but over time, there's like this separation without you even realizing it. It's like you both develop a different life, even though you're living in the same house, because you're spending so much time outside of the home. Or you're spending a lot of time, even if some people work in the house, you're still not communicating. You're still not spending any real time together, So I think it's important to do that. I hear that sometimes people will say, I don't need no man to keep tabs on me. I don't know what do you guys think about this? Like,
care about me, please. Keep tabs on me, please. That's gonna be my new saying. I like umbrellas.
Yes,
that's gonna be my new saying, because I'm sorry, Coach, you was talking, but
no.
It's a visceral response. Like that that literally translates to don't nobody care about me. I want somebody to care about me. I want, and it was supposed, your family unit, if it's traditional, your father cares about you, your parents care about you, your siblings care about you, they protect you, they cover you. Now, as an adult, if you're a married woman, you're covered by your husband. Now, if you're a single woman, you're technically still supposed to be at your parents' house, but that's another conversation for another time. But I feel like, why is that a negative? I don't want to leave the house and nobody know where I'm going. Not in this world. So I think when you ask the question, like, when did that become a bad thing?
I think what I think, I'm no expert here, but I just observe things. When women started, when the women's movement started and women became more independent, I think it was misconstrued as in order for you to be independent, you also have to be independent of your husband. And that those two things don't really work. It's not, you're not codependent or you're not dependent on your husband just because you're communicating with each other throughout the day. I don't think that's accurate, but I think people kind of confuse. I'm an independent woman. I'm a 90s girl. Remember, it started in the 90s, right? I'm a 90s girl. Remember that song? Anyone? No. But that philosophy began then, and it really began in the music, right? I think Sab wants to say something. I'm gonna.
Yeah, so I just feel like that is the maturity of a marriage or a relationship in general. And for me, I think about it really differently in the sense that, yeah, it's not keeping tabs, but for me, I'd like to know where you are in the event something happens. You know, I like to know the last place you were at. You know what I mean? So I can provide that information if needs be. So it's not so much of keeping tabs, but it's just the maturity of it. Anything can happen. You would need to know where your spouse is. So again, it's not about keeping tabs, but the maturity of the relationship.
And for me, if I hear a woman, if I'm with a woman and she make that statement that, oh, I don't want anybody checking up on me, you know, things like that, in my head, she's up to something. That's how I'm gonna think. And I don't want to go there. So I'm gonna avoid her at all costs. So that's all I have to say.
And I think going back to what you said, Coach, there's
I
no
agree.
middle.
I agree with you guys, by the way.
Yeah, it's like there's no middle, right? We're not advocating people being controlled, right? I don't think you're saying that. I don't think that's what the depiction, but I think that's what the depiction is. That if you are mutually submissive, right? Let's just say mutual for the sake of conversation, that there's a control. It's not a control. There's freedom in me saying, hey, I'm going here, here, here. I'll call you when I get here. There's freedom in that. That's not, I demand you not go X place. If my husband demand me not go X place, that's probably because it's a place I shouldn't be. And where is the care and concern aspect of it, right? Because when there's care and concern, you don't feel that sense of control. That's just my opinion.
I'm looking at the chat, guys, and my husband is in the chat, and he is hilarious. You guys know that I frequent wigs. So he said I put ear tags in Coach's wigs. Oh, what? No, but we share locations with each other. There's nowhere that I'm gonna go. There's nowhere that he's gonna go that I don't know about. And not just because, oh, I need to know where you at all times. But yeah, I do need to know where you are at all times. But it's not in a like controlling way, like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. I can move freely, he can move freely, but it is a safety issue. Like, you're my person, I'm your person. God forbid anything happened. I need to know the last place you were. Like you said, Sab, like, I need to know who you were. Like, that's insanity to me that people don't think that way. But then again, I kind of understand why it's happening, because of what we were talking about in the beginning, this thing that we're all on, that we're on right now, social media. It is the other person in your marriage. Is it not? It's the other person. It's the person that you're listening to in the shower. It's the person that you're listening to in the car, the person that you're listening to while you cook. It's the other ear. But it all depends on what exactly you're consuming, right, on social media. So speaking of, we're going to segue into a few videos that we're gonna watch, and this is surrounding around the conversation of Nelly and Ashanti. And I'm not talking about their particular marriage per se, but what I want to illustrate is how a marriage, what we're talking about this whole time, how marriage is now seen as something that's disposable, Okay. So the first video I'm gonna show, there's some language. I was trying to find another video with a similar message, but this one just really did it for me. So please, guys, it's just a little language. I don't want anyone to leave because of that, or to feel what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm looking for?
Offended? To be offended?
Yes.
You're giving a disclaimer so that nobody is offended. Just, it's okay. We're going to hear some grown-up words. We'll just,
yes.
It's okay.
But it really illustrates the point. And then we're going to follow it up with a different perspective. So before I do that, I just want to give a little summation in case somebody doesn't know who the heck I'm talking about. Nelly and Ashanti are two celebrities. I'll say that. And they dated 10 years ago, and they recently reunited, got married, had a baby in recent times. They're both pretty large celebrities, especially in Black culture. And prior to their marriage, their union at the end of 2023, I think, Ashanti was single, had no children. She's 40-something years old. And there was a lot of pressure about her becoming married, becoming in a relationship. That was the talk prior to her marrying this guy. And he has children, and he's previously was in a long-term relationship. So now these two are together, and they have a reality show right now where a lot of folks are not pleased with how their relationship is looking on camera. So the first video we're going to see is someone giving Ashanti advice about what she should do. Get ready. So I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully everybody can hear it. And it's going to run for a few minutes. So just sit tight. You can comment in the chat and say what you think while it's going on. And then we'll come back and we'll do a little chit chat about it.
There are submission is earned, right? There are some men, especially when you're dealing with Black men, but just men in general, right? That will fully turn you into a doormat if you allow it. You are gonna have to buck against this nigga to get him to respect you. I still don't necessarily think you gotta get a divorce just yet. But you gonna stop asking for permission, and you gonna start just making motherfucking moves. I'm gonna tell you what you do, Ashanti, right? He go on tour, he this, he that. You know what you do? You pack your shit and you go up to New York with your mama and your family. When he call you and ask you where you at, I'm in New York with my mama and my family. Motherfucker, you don't want to help me with this baby? Then guess what? I'm with my family. I see you when I see you. You can bring your ass up here, but I ain't carrying my ass down there till I feel like it. That's how you gotta talk to him. Because I'm here to let you know, Ashanti, if you ain't got none of that up in you, I don't know if you got no mamas, a mama with a backbone, I don't know if you got no aunties with no backbone, I don't know. Because I remember your sister was dating that nigga that was beating the dog crap out of her and didn't tell y'all for years. So it's kind of showing me maybe you're used to seeing women get abused. I don't know. Everybody don't have that in them, and that's okay, because you Ashanti is truly a lady, right? But you need a gentleman. That's why they call it gentleman. A man that knows how to handle you. You're going to have to show this skinning and grinning ass old nigga how to handle you. When y'all, let me tell you, Shanti, when y'all was in that store, you want to buy that mattress, and he said, we're going to get the hell out of here. Here's how you should have played that, Ashanti. Come to the camera and watch. Let me teach you something that maybe your mammy didn't teach you. Okay? Sing. I'm Ashanti, right? Oh, I love this mattress. And Nelly say, we ain't getting that shit. We getting up out of here. Ashanti, you were supposed to say, no, nigga, remember when you spent all that motherfucking money at Ameristar and you got arrested and you had meth in your motherfucking pocket and your slow ass didn't even remember to renew your tags, so they towed your car and they put you in jail and you was embarrassing me after we got married? Motherfucker, if you go give your money to the gambling house, bitch, I'm gonna get this motherfucking mattress. Now you can sleep on the shit or you can sleep in another motherfucking room, bitch. Your choice.
What? All right, I'm not gonna say nothing first. Woo!
Who gave you the right, sir, to say anything? That's what. My immediate response was, "Who asked you?" Now I know they invite cameras into their situation, so therefore they're inviting commentary. So I get that. I understand that. But sir, I ain't see a wedding ring at first. I'm gonna just say I tried to look and see. I didn't see no wedding ring. I don't know the man's orientation. I can't say that. But you, as a man, are not the one that's in a position to tell a woman how she should respond to her husband. And that was exactly if I was in counseling with that couple, right, I would not have told her to respond that way. That is the antithesis of the way that you should respond. Because now we fighting in these people's store for what and for why. I'm still not going to get what I want. So if she traipsed behind him and they had a conversation later and they looked at the budget, he heard his side, heard her side, totally different. So anyway, I had a very, like, my stomach hurt when I heard it. Like, who, because that's, unfortunately, that's how people think. And that's unfortunate. I'm going to be quiet now.
So my first thought is he married? Advising a married couple? So I'm not even paying attention to what he's saying. And secondly, I'm not gonna do all of that in a store. That's just not me. This might not even be the right way, but I always have my Get Vex money. So if you ain't buying it for me, I'll sure buy it myself. So I'm not gonna be about arguing with you about if I should get it or not. Especially if it's something I know we definitely need. If it's a want, I understand. But if it's a need and you're just behaving crazy, then I have my Get Vex money. So I'm not about to be arguing with you.
For me, hearing that, it's a no-no. And a boat don't sink without water getting inside of it. So for them, they shouldn't be listening to anybody else. They should know what is going on in their relationship, whether or not they can afford to get that. Right? So he has no right. I mean, he has his opinions, but he has no right to be giving, advice, marital advice at that. So he should get out of here.
I definitely agree. I wanted to show that for many reasons, and you guys brought those up. One, I mean, well, the thing is, once you put yourself on a public platform, you're open to people's opinions. So he's going to have, people are allowed to have an opinion. He's going to have one. But the issue isn't so much, I don't think Ashanti and Nelly, I hope, are not paying attention to this or any of there's so much of this same kind of attitude about their relationship out there. But what my concern is, he has 350,000 subscribers. So those people, how many of those people are listening to him and his so-called advice on how to handle relationships? He pretty much told her to completely demasculate. That's the right word. Is it emasculate or emasculate. Then yep, that girl, her man in a public setting. Like, I was cringing when I watched it. I was like, oh my word. And if you watch the show, the place that they were in, if they were selling mattresses that cost over $100,000. So you can only imagine what type of store this is. So you're telling this person to go in the store and be like, remember when you was getting arrested? Like, what? But the problem is he has such a large audience, right? How many people are paying attention to that and thinking that is the right way to handle their relationship? Like, not even so much of Ashanti and Nelly, because I would hope that they have more sense, than to listen to someone like that. But there's other people that will follow that. Some people are so influenced by influencers. That's pretty much why that name is so popular. Influencers influence the masses, and they're influencing them in the wrong, absolutely wrong. So anyone in this live right now, if you ever are in a store with your husband, your boyfriend, the guy you like, whatever, anyone, and you have a conflict about purchasing something, the store and yelling and screaming is an absolute no-no. It's very disrespectful. It is the definite end of your union. And I don't know if it was in this particular clip, but he also told her that she needs to embarrass him. That's the only way he's going to respect her. That is incorrect. Okay, so
the opposite of what you do,
right? Right, like what? So let me see what the chat is. The chat is saying. Soul Reactions. Hello, Soul Reactions. She says, I'm not married and I would not disrespect him, my man husband, in public. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Anthony said, word, with a million explanation points. Oh, get Vex money. Spouse wife says she loves that. Get Vex money.
Yeah. I was going to say that too. It brings up a point because different people do different things in their marriages. And so if you have some people believe that all finances should be joint. There's some people that believe that household income should be put together, but then you get a portion, I get a portion, and we don't talk about, hey, get out my pocket. But all the other things are taken care of, so that each person can maintain independence. There are other people that say, hey, husband pays the bills, wife don't need to know nothing. There are other people where the wife or the person who's the best at it pays the bills. And I think that brings up another layer that I cannot tell another couple, especially even if unless they're inviting me in to say, hey, counsel me, be spiritual guidance or something like that. I can't tell you how to run your household. And even then I'm saying, hey, you guys need to discuss, what does this look like for you? I'm never going to be like, oh, friend, don't let him have all your money. If that don't work, that might work for y'all relationship. What if I'm a gambler and I need you to have all my coins? Whereas me, I'm like, hey, now I need a little bit, okay? Because if not, that's what independence looks like for me, interdependence. So I think that's something else too. From the outside looking in, you don't have the right to have commentary on somebody else's dealings in their relationship. And you said this earlier, Coach, we treat marriage as if it's disposable. Because we see it as transactional. As long as you make me happy, then we can stay married. That is not the role and function of marriage. It's not about happiness, joy, peace, fulfillment. Yes, happiness is going to come and go. I'm not going to like my husband every day. Love him. I'm not going to like him. He's going to do stuff to make me mad. He's going to do stuff that make me want to buck up against him. And it's my submission to God and then to him that says, all right, now I'm going to have to figure this out. So I don't like this commentary that it's like I need to master the other person in order to be happy or order to have equality. No, we have equity, not equality in that way. We get what we need, not always the same exact thing. Shutting up now, sorry.
Exactly. Like I was flat, like that's what I had to. I know that there was a lot of colorful language, but I was like, I need for everybody to see this, because what? And this person has three. This is really, really dangerous. It's really dangerous advice to say, bark on your man, pretty much. Like, bark on him. First of all, this advice is coming from someone who is unmarried, who also has other preferences. I'll say that, and is not in a traditional marriage. So how can you fix your lips, flap your gums to say something about this woman and her relationship? Now, granted, I know that they put themselves on the public platform. I get that piece, but my word today, do not listen to that foolishness. Do not go into no one's store or anyone's anywhere, not even in the house. Don't speak to your spouse in that manner. Speak to them how you would want to be spoken to. And I think that's kind of the bottom line there. Speak how you want to be spoken to. Treat people how you want to be treated, especially in a marriage or any relationship. Don't do that ever. Okay? Period. Okay, so wait, let me just finish the chat. There's a few people that had some things to say. So Queen said, you shouldn't do this, married or not. Anthony said, I really wish more people watched her content. Danielle be bringing the fire and the Bible. Hello, somebody. Spouse wife said, if both parties are selfless and try to meet each other's needs at 100%, it will be really difficult to fail. That is a bar. And that is probably the secret sauce to marriage. If both, I used to capitalize that, both parties are selfless and try to meet each other's needs at 100%. That's it. And that's why I don't like the 50-50 talk. It's 100% from both parties. If both parties are putting in their 100% and putting each other first, you can't fail. There's no failure. You might have arguments. There might be times when, like you said, Danielle, there might be times when both of you don't like each other, and then you go over there. You go stay over there, and I'll stay over there. And then when you're not on my nerves anymore, then we come back together. Okay. Candy K says, good discussion, Danielle. Hi, Candy K. True words. Oh, y'all in the chat too. That's what I'm talking about. Multitasking. We got, what's up, Johnny? I'm sorry, Bird and Boots. He said real talk. All right, guys. So we have a second video. Now, this video here, I was talking about this during my live. One of the lives I did during the week. And I was talking about how Auntie checked me. Because she said, she's going to combat the first video. Okay. So I'm just going to play that. Just give me a second, guys.
I still want you to realize that my opinion here today is only based off the snippets I've heard on YouTube about Leave Nelly. And it's only based off of what I've seen thus far in episode 1 about their relationship. And I'm going to talk about it. But in regards to the hottest topic I see on YouTube right now about Leave Nelly, because he doesn't want to get up in the middle of the night to feed the baby or comfort the baby. And he says he's not going to be involved till the baby's 3 years old. And because of these things, these sort of positions he's taken at 50 years old, they're saying what Nelly should do, what Ashanti should do, is Ashanti should become a single mother. How old is Ashanti? Let me look up Ashanti's age real quick. Ashanti is 44 years old. And what Ashanti should do is at 44 years old, she should become a single mother. And then what she should do is raise her baby by herself. And then she should get up at night all the time by her baby by herself, even more so. So let me get this right. You're married with a baby. He doesn't want to get up at night for the baby. You mad, you hotter than fish grease. So what you say is, my solution is, fine, Negro, I'm gonna divorce you. I'm gonna become a single mother. And then I'm gonna still get up every night by myself when the baby's crying. How is that a better position? If you was mad before, aren't you still mad because you still getting up? Or are you just mad because you feel like I have a partner and he should have done it? I don't know. But what I've heard so far, y'all gonna have Ashanti out here like Tamara. Remember Tia and Tamara? Tamara, we was on her leaving her man. Okay. First of all, I'm gonna say this. Ashanti's worth, what is Ashanti's net worth? Ashanti net worth. Like, I gotta look up things because y'all, I'm learning on the fly. I'm learning on the fly. Ashanti is worth $5 million. $5 million. What does it say? She's worth $5 million. Her wealth is derived from her music career. It says that some reports say she could be worth masters. She's trying to get them back. That's what it said. And it says recently, how much does that make? Because he makes 70, he's worth 70 and she's worth 5. It makes a big difference. Good Lord, it makes a big difference. He's the moneymaker. Okay, and I'm going to get into this series I saw with Nelly. With Ashanti. Now, as a married woman, where are my married women? Raise your hands. Probably anybody who's listened to my YouTube video, and none of y'all are worth 70 million. And none of y'all are probably even worth, your combined household ain't worth 70 plus 5, 75. So you and I, married woman, net worth less than 75 million. Put your hands up. Put your hands up. Now I want all the women who are married with children to go back when you had your children and you was getting up at night with your baby, whether your man helped you or not. And now I want you to think back. And I want you to think back to yourself. And I want you to say, if I were there again and I was worth 5 million and my man was worth 70 million, and the biggest argument we got in our house is who gonna get up with the baby when the baby starts crying in the middle of the night, and you got money and you got resources, why would the solution be for either of you to get up? Why wouldn't you do what rich people do and hire for the services that you need? I don't know if other people know this out here, but people with money have available resources that poor people don't have. So I really don't feel sorry for Ashanti. And if Ashanti leaves her man who's worth 70 million because he don't want to get up with the baby in the middle of the night, because what he's saying is, I need my strength to go on the road and keep this 70 million rolling in. And Ashanti is in charge of the house, which a lot of women are. They run the house. Why wouldn't Ashanti hire what every other woman with any kind of money does, which is a night nurse? I don't understand the problem. So most ladies nowadays, it's very common that if you are a woman, a mother, and you are in a family that has any amount of wealth at all, you don't even need 75 million. Folks are doing this and they only worth 1 million or less. They are hiring what are called night nurses. Black people, please stop blowing up your marriages over things that people have been dealing with and have found other solutions besides breaking up Black family households. You worth $75 million. Just like you got day nannies, guess what there are? They're called night nannies. They work the night shift. So when the baby cries at night and the baby diapers needs to be changed, guess who gets up and changes that baby at night? Just like you got a day nanny, a night nanny.
She told y'all. She told y'all. She said, she said, stop breaking up Black families. I said, okay, Auntie, I agree. So
again, sometimes we just need that wisdom. And I think sometimes we don't have it. We over here listening to tomfoolery. I'm gonna call him tomfoolery instead of listening to wisdom. Like, okay, that's it. I don't know why we as a people don't get you pay for convenience sometimes. And if the issue is, again, like we said in communication, that she feels disrespected because he's not hearing her concerns, have that conversation, not the conversation, I'm leaving you because I can't get my way. I feel like when you don't listen, it is challenging me and you don't respect me. Oh, that's not what I mean. I'm just trying to sleep so I can make this money. Oh, that's all it is? Okay, let's get an au pair. Let's get a night nurse. Let's get a nanny. Like, I concur. Sorry. I promise I'm not gonna talk next time.
You can talk. I'm gonna have Sab and Tony respond. Please hold.
So basically what we saw from Nelly and Ashanti, it was just a snippet, right? So we really don't know what the majority of their discussion and conversation was, and what we saw was on camera, so we don't know what happened off camera. And then also, he might not get up during the night, but what else is he doing to make up for that? And then he did also say that, when the child gets to 3 and they can say, I'm hungry or I want to use the bathroom, then Ashanti probably won't see the child. So at that point, I guess it evens out at some point. So, I mean, it all comes down to what works for their marriage. And so people will take bits and pieces of what is said and turn it to suit, to suit them. So that's my take on that. We're operating on low battery, so in case it goes out, then we'll just be in the comments.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, since you're operating on low battery, I'm going to thank you guys now, and you can go. But before you do, I just want to let everybody know. So a few people were asking, who's that gorgeous couple on your panel? And I just want to introduce you guys one more time for those that came in a little later. We have Sab and Tony here. They have a channel here on YouTube. I'm going to allow them to give a nice description of their channel before the battery dies.
So the channel is basically just snippets of our daily life. From the beginning of our channel till now, we kind of show our journey as a couple, when we got married, all of that good stuff, and now we're just going through life. So that's basically it.
Pretty much.
How long have you two been married?
2 years.
So we've been together for 4, but coming up in another month, In less than a month, actually, it would be 2 years.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
So I want to thank Sab and Tony for being here. Danielle, if you want to stay for a few more minutes, you can.
Okay.
I want to thank you guys for showing up and staying on for over an hour and being and providing some really, really, really great conversation. I really appreciate you guys. And I look forward to doing this again. Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Coach, I wanted to make sure you didn't miss this comment. You probably were going to get to it, but Kendi K had said something that was really interesting.
Put her up? Let me go. Let me see if I can find it.
She said a couple. There were some comments, but I think there's this one that said,
let's do the comments. Let's go through these. So Kendi K, my love. Hey, she said this. What? Right, Serene?
Not that one, but the one after it.
After?
Yeah. So when you put that in there, here's the thing. I'm not going to disagree, and so I'm not a. I guess am I a woman of a certain age? Can I claim that? I gotta wait 20 years.
Kendi's a few years your senior now. So
I know that's what I'm saying. I don't think I can say that yet, and I don't know how long Kendi K has been married. But I will. But sometimes I have time in marriage that I don't have in age, if that makes sense. So I think the language of training has to be mutual. And I think that is what we were talking about earlier.
Yes.
Is the communication, right? There are things that I'm sure you and BFF don't have to talk about because y'all kind of have an agreement and alignment. Right. Y'all know each other. You know, Kendi K and her, if I'm not sure if Kendi K is married, but I'm thinking that she is. My spouse, like there are certain things that we don't have to talk about no more because we have been traveling this road for a really long time. It's things my husband, I've shared this before. I'm not the most orderly person. My husband will come down in my office area. He get the cleaning, okay. and I'll just look at him because that's our paradigm. That's our pattern. And so, yes, there's times where he's like, all right, babe, come on now. We got to get it together. We got to straighten and organize. And I look and I nod. So in that way, he's trained me. I think, unfortunately, the attitude behind that is we have to manipulate our spouse. And I'm not saying Kendi K was saying that. I'm saying that young people hear that. And
but you have to like expand on what you mean by train. That's because what
young people hear that and they see what the young man was talking about. Like we gotta embarrass him and beat him into submission, right? And I'm like, you will be divorced. You will.
Yeah. And that's why our divorce rates. That's why the divorce rates are so high because of this philosophy of you have to whip them into shape kind of thing, and then people take that and turn it into literal verbal whippings. Like no, but the place that I am now with my husband, like with our communication and stuff, that happened over years and years of work, of learning each other, of all of that. Like it happens over time. And I think people are so quick to take their relationship and compare it to someone else's relationship or what the person presents.
Yeah.
Or what you see on the outside. And then they look at their spouse and they be like, why don't you buy me roses every day? Well, you want to know why they're getting roses over there? Maybe you don't want to know. You're seeing the roses.
Right. Listen.
Hello, somebody. You're seeing the roses, but you don't know why the roses are being purchased. So then you turn to your spouse who is just what you need, right? And you're like, but why don't you buy me roses every day?
But you listen, and you don't know what it costs. You don't know what them roses cost. The roses. You don't know what them roses cost. I definitely agree with that. And I think that's unfortunately, we treat marriages like starter marriages like we treat starter homes. Like it's just for a little while, but then I'll grow out of it. I'll get more mature. Or I've heard people say this, and I just don't understand it. Oh, if this doesn't work, I'll just get a divorce. Why are you doing it then? Like what?
Because divorce is now, it's like sexy. It's like, oh, you know.
And this is no shade to anyone who's had one. That's not why I'm making a statement. But to go into a marriage planning on divorce, I don't get it. And I'm not talking about prenups. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm just talking about the conceptual outline. If I am going into it, deciding if this doesn't work for me, I'll just get a divorce. Are you committed? Because you already got one foot out the door.
Right. And that's not gonna work in the long term. In a marriage, it requires commitment on both sides, and not just the verbal commitment, like yeah, we'll get married. I mean, the actual commitment,
the determination, the fortitude.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the comments. Spouse wife, you stayed the whole time. I thought you said you was gonna do laundry.
You got good content, Coach. You got good content.
I thank you for being here. I thank you so much for staying and hanging out with us. Yes, great input. Thank you, guys. Candy K said, oh man, I missed most of this replay. Yeah, we had a nice discussion in the beginning, and then those videos were towards the end. So this will be a good video to replay. You can skip maybe like the first 5 minutes, because that was just like saying hello to everyone. But once we got going on the panel, child, ooh-wee, juicy. Look, 4-2. Oh, Danielle is full of the words, honey. I love it. I just sit back and be like, Danielle, what word? Yes,
Listen.
I've had a great time. Like, I really, really appreciate you, Danielle. Just Danielle, guys. If you're not subscribed to her channel, is Queen still here? Because Queen was putting everyone's channel in the chat. Oh, Danielle, if you're able, are you able to put your link in my chat?
I probably can't, but it should come up. It's just Danielle 365. I want to thank you, Coach, for having me. I appreciate it. I was, like I said, I was anticipatory. I was waiting for this conversation, because I feel like wives and marriage, we just it's a bad name out here in the streets. Like it's the ball and chain.
Oh, here go the old ball and chain. And
I am happily married.
Me too. Like it can be. And I'm not speaking to, and I always like to say this because I know that some people's marriage is not happy. Right. And I'm never going to tell anyone that is like in a really abusive or in a relationship that really is not working any longer to stay. I'm not encouraging that. But if you have a healthy relationship, it can be very comfortable. Like you have a comfortable life. And I'm not speaking about economic status or anything. I'm speaking about the ability to live with someone else that loves you just as much as you love them, and you both are working towards the same goals. That's a beautiful life.
Yeah.
And I understand that's not for everybody too. Some people really don't, or they just have, I think sometimes people get to a place where they've been in so many bad relationships that they just like, it ain't for me.
Yeah. No, I thank you for saying that, Coach, because I think, unfortunately, in certain populations, especially in ultra-conservative religious ones, wives are said to stay in horrible situations of abuse or neglect or, just bad situations. And that's not what I am saying. Again, I thank you for bringing that up. I don't think you're saying that. I don't think men or women or children or anybody should be abused in a relationship. I think that the difficulty is that balance, having that balance. Like, okay, if they don't load the dishwasher the right way, then get out of there. You deserve more, right? No, if they putting hands on you, feet on you, paws on you, if they are hurting you, manipulating you, causing you injury, yes, separation is a possibility, especially if nobody's changing. Any kind of safety issue, please get out of there. But I think
safely
that shouldn't be and you need seek attention, seek help, do it safely and wisely. It is a very dangerous situation. I know you've talked on that before, Coach.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you saying that that as well, because nobody's advocating for people to stay in unsafe situations.
Right.
I also think that people should not run at the first annoyance that they have.
Like this is why I wanted to bring the Nelly and Ashanti situation up, because people are telling her to leave her marriage because he won't get up and change Pampers. Like literally.
When you can fix that. Again, that can be fixed.
That's kind of what the point is. Like little things like that can be fixed. If you can work on that, then do that. And then on the other side of it, not only, okay, he's not willing to get up and change Pampers, but at the same time, this is her first child, and she's and Supreme is in here.
I know you saw it. I saw it too. We just glance and we just glance and look away. And you know that particular person doesn't like to be ignored.
Right. At the same time, though, Ashanti, she's a first-time mom, and she's super overprotective of her child, and she doesn't want anybody else to care for the child. So you can't cry about something that you're not willing to bend on either, right?
Yeah.
So you want him to get up, but if he gets up in the middle of the night, are you gonna be like, did you put on the powder on him? Did you wipe him properly? You're not doing it right. Let me do it. Who gonna get up out they sleep to hear all of that? Right. So there's a flip side of that too.
Again, as you said earlier, having that commentary, you have to take it with a grain of salt. You invited that. And that's not to shame them. They getting that paper. Hey, do what you gonna do. That's one reason why you don't see my husband on the internet. Because he's like, this ain't for me. I don't want that life. And my kids, you're not gonna see them because it's not their life. I don't need that commentary, right? So I think that's a balance, and they have to. I pray that they have people who are close enough to them to advise them wisely, give them wise counsel, so they're not making these irrational decisions. Because there's the other thing about celebrity. A lot of us would not want. We want the coins. We don't want to have to live our lives on a stage like that.
Right, and I think a part of why they decide, and then we don't even know what the conversations were behind the scenes. Maybe they had this conversation and they did a worst case scenario. What are people going to say when they see this? What do you think they'll say? How are we going to handle? Maybe they did all of that. So everybody's talking and running their mouth and telling them what they should and shouldn't do.
Watching their show, guys.
Watching their show, right? So you don't know what their situation is, but I like to use things that people will pay attention to get the message out.
No, I agree. No,
the message here. If you have these small annoyances, as that's Danielle's word, you don't have to end an entire marriage for those things. If he's not buying you roses every Tuesday, is that enough to get divorced? Is that enough to and that, like you said earlier too, Danielle, about how women, we create narratives in our head, right? So it's not just the flowers, of course, right? But you asked him, you said every Tuesday you want flowers, and he doesn't buy them. So you're like, maybe he doesn't love me. Maybe he's not buying me the flowers because he doesn't love me. I don't know why he's not buying me the flowers. Why isn't he? And you have this entire thing happening here that you're not saying out loud.
Yeah, no. And that's going back to what you said earlier. Mm-hmm. Have a conversation. Have a conversation. It is better to have a conversation, even if you don't like the outcome, even if it's uncomfortable. It's better to have a conversation. And the earlier you have that conversation, the less likely it is to lead to an argument, because it's really a conversation of curiosity that early on. So. Yes,
guys. I like that you guys are sharing the link. I appreciate that. So Spouse Wife said, random fact. I told my husband, if he ever cheats, just come home and we'll work it out because I'm never leaving. Wow, that's amazing.
That's not her deal breaker. I think everybody has a deal breaker.
Everyone has it. Exactly.
That might not be
Everyone has a deal breaker. Some women would leave like the first time if their husband cheated once, they're leaving. But you know what? Someone, it was in another live chat I was in. They were talking about cheating, and they said so you leave one man because he cheats, and then you end up with someone else and they cheat too. Then what?
See, the thing about the cheating is what happened before that.
Yeah.
That I'm like, anyway, that's a conversation. Where's that shit? It's a conversation.
Yeah, that's
But
a stash combo, right?
Listen, everybody has a deal breaker. With me, it's the kids. Like, don't hurt the kids. You know what I mean? Some people it's the money. Like, don't mess up the money. Some people it is cheating. Other people that's not their issue. People are in, non-traditional marriages. So they might not see that as an issue, or they're like, hey, this is something we can overcome. Yeah. Versus something else. And I honestly think that until you were in that situation, you don't know. But you can say at the outset, I'm like, man, 20 years? I don't know if that's the thing that's going to take me there. You know what I mean? Who knows?
The Supreme said, I'll never take relationship advice from someone single personally. We were earlier, Supreme, before you came, I was showing a clip of a single person doing just that, giving marriage advice. Terrible advice.
That would have, I don't know.
Terrible advice. Okay,
it, but that one would grind his gears.
If you saw that, Supreme, it would grind. So maybe like you should go back, like maybe like what 10 minutes and see that clip. And I don't know if you're not gonna like it. Mrs. Supreme, hi, Mrs. Supreme. She said, I feel like a lot of people jump into marriage too quickly without having all the hard conversations and expectations for their relationship. I agree. Yeah, I think, or maybe it's not too quickly, but I think people just in general aren't having the difficult conversations until something comes up. They're not talking about their deal breakers. They're not talking about their expectations at all. They're just jumping in.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and that's unfortunate. I think conversations need to be had prior to these situations happening, as much as you can.
Yeah. Pretty Heart says, that's why I keep my mouth shut and don't get nobody no advice, because I'm not married and I'm never going to get married because nobody never asked me yet. Wait a minute, Pretty Heart. What? Do you want to? I mean, I don't know if you want to. You don't have to answer this if you don't want to. I'm just curious. Do you want to get married? Because it sounds like you're saying I'm never going to get married because nobody's asked me yet. So it sounds like you would get married if somebody asked you to marry them. Am I wrong? Yes, Mrs. Supreme. Just avoiding things altogether. Yes, that's what people tend to do because they want to keep the peace and they don't want to ruffle any feathers. But let me tell you something. If you're going to be in a marriage long enough, feathers going to get ruffled. Okay? Feathers are going to get ruffled because you got two people coming from two different walks of life, or maybe the same walk of life, but two different life experiences coming together as one under one roof in Jesus' name. And that is going to be some what did they say? Some furniture moving. Figuratively.
Yeah. Ruffled and plucked. I know that's right. Ruffled and plucked.
Ruffled and plucked. Yes. Pretty Heart has a good spirit. I don't see why a man wouldn't want to marry her. Right. That's why I'm asking, because some people just don't feel like for themselves, they don't feel like they're ready to be married. But I just wanted to be clear if she meant she's not married because she hasn't been asked yet and she wants to be married, or if she just has decided not to get married. Those are two different things. Mrs. Supreme said, Pretty Heart, I'm not a content creator, but thank you. My husband is a content creator in our family. And you got the content creator in your family. Woo! Wait. That guy is content.
Tomfoolery again.
Child, ruffled and plucked. Okay. Listen, furniture move. No. It's
everybody,
real.
I mean, and I think that everybody has different kinds of conversations about arguing, like, and disagreeing, and what that looks like. Because I don't think, if I had a conversation before about, like, what does it mean to disagree? And some people just have a conversation, and that's disagreement.
And that's
but
a
for other people,
disagreement.
it's fighting, like they're fighting.
Right. And
Two
when
different
I
things.
say, I just want to be clear, guys, because you have to be clear on these social medias. When I say furniture moving, I don't mean literal furniture moving. I mean figuratively, meaning you guys are going to have you're going to tussle in an argument. You're going to have an argument, verbal argument with your spouse. At times, you guys will argue. And what that argument looks like is different for different couples. So, like you said, Danielle, some couples, it's like an actual screaming match and no one's listening. Other times it's two people having a disagreement and it might even get a little heated, but that's the extent of their argument.
Right.
And then other people, unfortunately, it becomes physical. And we don't want that. We don't want the physical. Please don't. Okay?
Right.
I definitely understand, Mrs. Supreme. You're so awesome. Yes, I would, but the right person hasn't came in my life yet. Yeah. So in the meantime, between time, what I always say to my friends is work on you. Work on you. Work on your health. Go to therapy. Work on your issues. All of that. Like, do all of that work on yourself, so that you'll be ready and prepared for your man when he comes. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Look, quit being safe, Coach. Dang. It's not being safe. It's being careful and being considerate of all of the people that could end up watching this. I don't want to be the person that's triggering people. And I mean, even though you give a disclaimer, people can still be triggered. But I just wanted to be clear that I'm not judging people for their stance in life and where they are. That's just not my intention. But I want to talk about marriage. And I know that itself can be a trigger for some people, just talking about marriage, because they automatically think that because you're speaking about marriage, you're saying that them being single is bad. There's some people that will think that will watch this live and think that we're coming for them because they're single. That's not what we're doing.
Yeah.
So I get you, Supreme. I know how you do. You say what you say, and that's that. I get it. Ours is more conversation to understand each other's thinking and point of view. Right. And that's and if somebody comes in from the outside and sees you guys in the midst of your conversation, some people might think that you're arguing. Other people, you know what I'm saying? But it's your way of having your disagreement or your conversation. Right. Hubby and I talk. I give my input. He considers best options and makes decisions. Right. Yes, Pretty Heart is amazing. Danielle, what do you think about when I say most women have already met the man they were supposed to marry, but didn't accept his proposal?
I think there was a study done on that. And I think the reality is that many people, and I'm going to broaden it because I think it's mutual. I think men and women have met someone who could have been their ideal person, but whether it was lack of maturity or whether it was lack of vision, I think they might have missed it in that moment. But if you do the right thing, right, the wrong way, or with the wrong person, it's still the wrong thing. So had they said yes, it probably wouldn't have worked out anyway.
Huh.
So I think I'm not going to disagree with that statement. I know, but I'll tell you the truth. I almost missed it. Almost missed it. It was the grace of God that allowed me.
You know how many times me and BFF broke up? Child.
Listen, I almost missed it. So I'm not going to disagree with that statement. I just think that if it wasn't the right time in that season, I would have still messed it up, even if I would have said yes.
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm trying to read Desi. Desi said, I heard the earlier live, and you wanted experience, marriage, divorce instead of singles who never. I don't know what that means. What you think?
Because you had a live earlier, right?
Yeah, I did a live earlier, and I was like getting like, I was asking people for their input and stuff like that. Hi, Mike, DDH. This is my first live of yours, Coach. Great convo. Hi, Mike. Thank you. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. You know the deal. If you like what you see here, you know, you can subscribe, hang out with us. You know,
That's right.
we'd appreciate you. Desi, yeah. Instead of singles who never, right. I wanted married people or someone that was divorced and wanted to talk about that experience. And I'm going to do this again. I have more questions, but I didn't want this to be a 5-hour live. So I'm going to redo this. We're going to do this in sections. So we'll talk about other topics. There's so many topics to talk about around marriage.
Well, thank you, Coach. I'm gonna go ahead and dip out. I don't know
Okay.
how long you're gonna be on here, but thank you so much. I appreciate
I'm gonna
you.
wrap up. We were supposed to wrap up, but you know, me and you get to talking, girl.
Thank you again, and I'll see you guys
later.
later.
Thank you, Danielle. Okay, I'm just gonna finish the chat. Let me put the music back on while we read the chat. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let's get to the chat, and then I'm gonna go, guys. Can we be done in 15 minutes? What y'all think? Let's say hello to everybody. You guys are still commenting. I love y'all for life. You heard? I think that we had a nice chat today, guys. I really enjoyed it. So Britt said, that is what I'm doing, working on me. That is the best thing in the world to do, Britt. Working on yourself, taking the time to take care of yourself. All of the things, girl. I appreciate you, Coach. And get that stretching too, you know what I mean? So anyone that's still here, I did a live yesterday where I did a stretch. If you want to start stretching, go on ahead and rewatch that live and stretch with me. Rockin' Cowboy in the building. Hello, Rockin' Cowboy. It says Rockin' with Cowboy, but I'm calling you Rockin' Cowboy. How you doing? How you doing? Thank you for joining. We got Supreme View, and he said, Coach, do you believe in soulmates or no? I do. I believe it. Do I believe this? Okay. I believe, because yeah, I'll say yes. I believe in soulmates. I believe that you can find your person, the person that you're supposed to be with. Yeah, I believe in soulmates. I don't believe in love at first sight. I don't really believe in that. But I believe in a soulmate, someone that, but what does a soulmate really mean? That's what I'm kind of thinking about in my head as I'm speaking out loud. What is a soulmate? Is it someone where you have this soul connection to? Is like, what is a soulmate? Maybe I should ask that before I answer you. What do you think a soulmate is? Yes, I want to experience married people to chime in. Yes. That's what we wanted today. You can learn so much from those who are married. Yes, you can learn so much from those who are married. And the reason why I wanted married, and I'm glad that we even got a married couple to come up here and speak together, because marriage gets a bad rap. Like, people are like, oh, you two with the ball and chain and all of that. But marriage is a blessing at the same time. Having one person that you can guarantee that got your back is dope. What's your friend's channel name? So I had two different channels up on the panel. Just Danielle was just on the panel with me, and her channel name is Just Danielle. And the other people that were on the panel are Sab and Tony, S-A-B and Tony. I'm going to put it in the chat. And if someone could drop the link, I would really appreciate that. Both channels are fire and you'd love it. So you should subscribe. Mike said, thanks for the warm welcome. I've subscribed for a few weeks now. Oh, thank you so much, Mike. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being a part of the panel, Sab and Tony. I really appreciate you guys. I really love your relationship. I love your vibe. And I'm glad that you guys were willing to be here today. I feel so like honored. Thank you. Yes, that totally happened to me. I don't know what totally happened to you, but I hope that it was something good. All right, guys, everybody's just speaking. Still here driving. I'm on Danielle's channel. I wasn't clear about his statement. Spouse wife said, I need a good stretch. Oh, you can check that live out that I did and do the stretch. It's really important. Yeah, I believe in soulmates and lust at first sight. Did you hear my other question, Supreme? Like what a soul? Oh, you did. I see it. Supreme said, I think someone that fits like a perfect puzzle. This is why I keep telling y'all, me and my wife don't argue and everyone looks at me like I'm crazy. I didn't look at you like you was crazy. What you talking about? I think, well, I can't say me and BFF have never argued. Oh, we've argued. But we haven't argued in years. I mean, years, because life is it just flows, man. And I love that for us. It's like I have an understanding of him. He has an understanding of me. We have a mutual respect for each other. And we just have this wonderful day-to-day relationship. And it's not it is a flex, but it's not in a braggadocious way. It's just, I like sharing that because it shows that you can do it too. Some relationships require a little work to get there, but you can get there and be at this place of peace, no drama, like in a relationship with zero drama. So Supreme, I definitely believe you. You ain't gotta do. I believe you. Thank you, Brett. Coaches and me. Thank you. Housewife says soulmate. Married people become soulmates after they consummate the marriage. We do for real. Well, then we are so. You know, I'm perverted, guys. We're soulmates then, for sure. Desi said, I thought I found my soulmate, but she was like a sister I get along with sometimes. But she was like a sister I get along with sometimes. Oh, man. Antonice, thank you. Woo, y'all don't know I be trying to go through. Now, I want to on Sundays, guys, because, you know, during the week I go live, right? If you guys have to log off now, that's fine. I'm just going to kind of wrap this up. During the week, I go live every day. And I normally do it on my phone. And I normally just kind of connect with whoever shows up to the live. Sometimes I have a topic. Sometimes I don't. But on Sundays, what I'm working on is the Coach Mean Green experience, where I put on more of a show and I have like definite topics. Either I'm going to have a panel discussion or I'm going to have something to give you. Sometimes it might be a workout. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But we're going to be talking about stuff and I'm going to bring you a show. I'm going to try and be more organized on Sunday. Not try, I'm going to be more organized on Sunday. Sometimes it'll be an interview, sometimes it'll be games, sometimes whatever the topic is for the week or whatever the discussion is for the week. So I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Antonice, because mama be working. Yes. Right. It's not a flex per se, but it is, but it's not. It's not that kind of flex. Like it's not braggadocious. I'm not bragging like, yeah, man, because trust and believe, you got to put in work to make your relationship flourish. You know what I mean? And it takes commitment from two people, not one doing all the work and the other doing nothing. Both people have to be willing and present in the relationship. Wow. Spouse wife said, hubby and I have been 12 years plus argument free. See, once you get to that, it's like that smooth sailing. Like sometimes, like there might be little moments in the day when y'all get on each other's nerves a little bit, but you even know when you're getting on each other's nerves, and you know to give each other space for a second, and then it's like once you get to that level, it's smooth sailing, guys. And it can happen. Anthony said it took us about a good 7 years, right? And when you know what I'm saying, then when you get to that place, you're like, that's my dog. Like, that's my dog. And other people, and from the beginning, it's like they have no issues. And other times in the beginning, it could be great. And then you go through a little rough patch. And if that happens, you just remember the foundation and work through those times. You know what I'm saying? That is awesome. I really appreciate people like Spouse Wife, like telling us about her situation and telling her about her marriage. I love that. I love when different perspectives come in the chat. I really like that. Who's this? Tuba Chat. How you doing? How you doing? Yeah, yell it from the rooftop, coach. Be proud, girl. Sounds like y'all put that work in and the payoff is huge. I love. Me too. There I go. Where's Trisha at? This is Trisha thing. Yell it from the, yes! I love my man. I know what you meant, girl. What you said? You shared my live on Reddit? Babylon, thank you. Woo. Right, I get what you're saying. Thank you, baby. Baby, I just tell people, ain't God good? Oh, God is so good. That's my ninja for real. Yes, Antonice. And we're going to celebrate love up over here. And we're not going to be ashamed of it. I know on Reddit, I'm like, okay, super chill. Thank you. All right, guys. So I've gotten to the end of the chat. And I want to thank all of the people that decided to show up here tonight. I appreciate each and every one of you. I thank you so much for being here. And I hope you got something out of the video. Until next time, I'll catch you on the next one. See you later. Bye, y'all.
And everything next to me is